Welcome to EFFector from the Electronic Frontier Foundation. This is the audio edition of EFF's email newsletter geared towards keeping you on the bleeding edge of your digital rights. This is EFFector Volume 37, Issue 1, titled Digital Rights and the New Administration. This issue was published in January 2025, and I'm your host, Membership Advocate Christian Romero. Let's start with our top features. Affecting Change livestream on January 16th. What direction will your digital rights take under Trump and the 119th Congress? Find out about the topics EFF is watching and what effects they might have on you. Join our panel of experts on January 16 from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Pacific Time as they discuss surveillance, age verification, and consumer privacy. Learn how you can advocate for your digital rights and the resources available to you. Next up, 2024 Year in Review. If there's one thing uniting all of EFF's work in 2024, it's this. Law and policy should be careful, precise, practical, and technologically neutral. Visit this page where we reflect on the past year through dozens of stories about EFF fighting for digital rights. Importantly, we did not, indeed we cannot, do it without you. Your support keeps the light on and ensures we are not speaking just for EFF as an organization, but for thousands of tireless members. Thank you, as always. And now, let's go through some EFF updates. First up, the Breachies 2024. The worst, weirdest, most impactful data breaches of the year. Every year, countless emails hit our inboxes telling us that our information was accessed, shared, or stolen in a data breach. But some of these data breaches are more noteworthy than others, because they include novel information about us, are the result of particularly noteworthy security flaws, or they're just so massive they're impossible to ignore. That's why we're introducing the Breachies, a series of tongue-in-cheek awards for some of the most egregious data breaches of the year. Next up, online behavioral ads fuel the surveillance industry. Here's how. Each time you see a targeted ad, your personal information is exposed to thousands of advertisers and data brokers through a process called RealTime Bidding. This process does more than deliver ads. It fuels government surveillance, poses national security risks, and gives data brokers easy access to your online activity. Real-time bidding might be the most privacy-invasive surveillance system that you've never heard of. Next up, Sixth Circuit rules against net neutrality. EFF will continue to fight. Early this month, the Sixth Circuit U.S. Court of Appeals ruled against the FCC, rejecting its authority to classify broadband as a Title II telecommunications service. In doing so, the court removed net neutrality protections for all Americans and took away the FCC's ability to meaningfully regulate internet service providers. By ruling that broadband is an information service and not a telecommunications service, the court is saying that the ISPs that control your broadband access will continue to face little to no oversight for their actions. This is intolerable. Next up, Meta's new content policy will harm vulnerable users. If it really valued free speech, it would make these changes. Facebook has a clear and disturbing track record of silencing and further marginalizing already oppressed peoples, and then being less than forthright about their content moderation policy. If Meta truly values freedom of expression, we urge it to redirect its focus to empowering historically marginalized speakers rather than empowering only their detractors. For our last update, EFF goes to court to uncover police surveillance tech in California. Which surveillance technologies are California police using? Are they buying access to your location data? If so, how much are they paying? These are basic questions that EFF is trying to answer in a new lawsuit called Penn Link v. County of San Joaquin Sheriff's Office. The public has a right to know the technology that law enforcement buys with taxpayer money. This information is not a trade secret, despite what private companies try to claim. And now, let's roll through some announcements. First up, EFF at CactusCon 13. EFF is excited to be back in Mesa, Arizona for CactusCon. If you're attending CactusCon 13, be sure to stop by the EFF booth to chat. We're excited to say hi and chat about our work with new and returning faces. Next up, EFF at Scale 22X. EFF is also excited to be back in Pasadena, California for Scale 22X. Stop by the EFF booth to chat with some of our team and learn about the latest news in defending digital freedom for all. Last up, thanks to our organizational members. EFF is the leading nonprofit organization defending civil liberties in the digital world. Organizational memberships and event sponsorships offer organizations the opportunity to join our movement for a better technological future. To learn more, visit EFF.org/thanks. And finally, it's time to go through some mini links. This first one is from Wired. License plate readers are leaking real time videos feeds and vehicle data. By leaving these incredibly insecure tracking devices on the open internet, police have not only breached public trust, but created a bounty of location data for anyone who drives by, which can be abused by stalkers and other criminals, explained EFF's Cooper Quinton. Police shouldn't be collecting this data at all unless there is an active investigation, and even then, the devices must be strictly scrutinized for security and public safety. Next, from Associated Press, the worst in show, CES products put your data at risk and cause waste, privacy advocates say. EFF Executive Director Sydney Cohen called out a data sucking smart crib as the least private device at this year's Consumer Electronics Show. Parents expect safety and comfort, not surveillance and privacy risks in their children's cribs, she said. Next up from Washington Post, it's not just Tesla. Vehicles amass huge troves of possibly sensitive data. EFF's Eva Galperin helped highlight the realms of data that today's vehicles vacuum up from drivers. In rental cars, this can include opt-in tracking services and other functions that vehicle owners can turn off. Next from SF Chronicle, 3 million photos a day, inside SFPD's huge tech expansion this year. EFF's Syra Hussein expressed our concerns about the troubling expansion of San Francisco's surveillance technology, including 400 automated license plate readers. When you're talking about 400 concentrated in a very dense location, it really starts to look like people are going to be able to be identified as they're moving about the city, she said. And our last mini link comes from CNET. TikTok takes its case to the Supreme Court. What to know? Shutting down communications platforms or forcing their reorganization based on concerns of foreign propaganda and anti-national manipulation is an eminently anti-democratic tactic, said EFF's David Green, one that the US has previously condemned globally. And that's a wrap. Thanks for listening. If you like what you're hearing or would like to learn more, subscribe at EFF.org/EFFector. Did you know EFF is a member-supported nonprofit organization? You can help us protect digital freedoms online for everyone by donating at EFF.org/effect. Thanks for your support, and I hope you'll join us for the next issue of EFFector.